With the United Kingdom's departure from the European Union, will skilled Indian workers and students find it easier to travel to the UK and live and work there? Well, the United Kingdom's new points-based visa and immigration system promises to do just that. Home Secretary of the UK, Priti Patel, has announced the launch of the United Kingdom's post-Brexit new points-based visa and immigration system. The new system will come into force from the 1st of January 2021. At the end of the transition period after the UK's exit from the European Union last month, which will formally end the free movement of people from the European Union to the UK.
This is a single global immigration system. It doesn't discriminate in terms of where you've come from or which country you originate from. But importantly, it's about the skills that you can bring to the UK. So as a result, numbers will come down. That is the purpose of having a system where we're not getting into the sphere of targets at all.
So what exactly is the United Kingdom's new visa and immigration system? Firstly, the new post-Brexit system will apply equally to the European Union and non-European Union countries like India. It's aimed at attracting the biggest and the best from the world, including from India, and cutting down numbers of cheap, low-skilled workers coming to the country. And all applicants will be assigned points based on their skill set rather than the region that they come from. Boris Johnson's government says that the new system is a direct response to the 2016 referendum in favour of Brexit, which was seen as a vote to end the country's reliance on cheap migrant labour and reduce overall levels of migration with tighter security. The new system is based on assigning points for specific skills, qualifications, salaries and professions. Now, visas will be awarded only to those who gain enough points. Those looking to live and work in the UK will need to be qualified up to A level or equivalent rather than degree level under the current system. This will provide greater flexibility and ensure UK businesses have access to a wide pool of skilled workers. So will the new norms benefit Indians? That's the big question. Firstly, it is estimated that 70% of the existing European Union workforce would not meet the new UK requirements. This will open the doors for skilled labourers from other countries, including India. In fact, India sends more workers abroad than any other nation in the world. According to a United Nations report, 17 million Indians were working overseas in 2017. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom is the 5th most preferred destination for skilled workers according to the World Economic Forum. So no doubt thousands of skilled Indian workers will now be eyeing a move to the United Kingdom. As far as students are concerned, those wishing to study in the UK will need to demonstrate that they have an offer from an approved educational institution, that they can support themselves financially, and that they can speak English. And now we have our correspondent, Holly Hudson, joining us live from London for that big story that we're tracking here on WION Dispatch. Holly, talk to us. A brand new immigration system that, on the surface of it all, seems to be extremely beneficial for skilled Indian workers.
Yes, certainly. The rules are in many ways relaxed for workers from overseas. Migration has been a huge issue here in the UK and was really a driving force behind the Brexit vote. And we've heard today exactly how the UK government intends to, as it promised during the election, take back control of the UK's borders with a new points-based immigration system that treats both EU countries and other countries outside of the bloc equally. Now, as a member of the European Union, the UK could only control migration outside of the bloc. There was sort of a free flow of workers between the EU and the UK and a cap on what was known as Tier 2 visas on skilled workers from other countries. Under this system, that cap will now be lifted. So essentially, the rules will be relaxed on highly skilled workers from other countries, such as India, overseas. But the key word there is highly. Now, the government is sort of keen to broaden the amount of highly skilled workers here and restrict the amount of lower skilled workers as well. So the highly skilled workers will, in terms of the visa system, will need to hit this new bar that's been set under this new point system. And to be eligible for that, you need to clear 70 points. Now, speaking English and being offered a skilled job gets you 50 points, and other points will be allocated for qualifications. And if you're working in a sector, for example, that is suffering from a shortage, such as nursing. Now, Priti Patel, the first Indian origin Home Secretary here, has been doing the rounds this morning in interviews, claiming this new system will unleash Britain's potential and attract the best and the brightest from around the globe. But even she was forced to admit that her parents, Gujarati Indians who moved here from Uganda in the 60s and set up newsagents, might not have been allowed under these new rules. And there has been a pretty fierce reaction from politicians in opposition parties too, describing this even as xenophobic and devastating potentially for the economy, as it could cause labour shortages. There will be no work permits for lower skilled, more menial jobs in hotels, restaurants, social care, for example. So we'll likely see businesses scrambling in the next few months to try and recruit and retain EU workers before those transitional arrangements end at the start of next year. But the message from the government today here in the UK is clear. They need to essentially suck it up. They need to adjust and adapt to the end of free movement.
Holly Hudson reporting live from London. Holly, before we let you go, quickly tell us, we're talking about a time span of about 10 months before this new immigration system kicks in. What do you think are going to be the immediate ramifications? Because the companies operating in the United Kingdom will need to start planning now that they have a ticking time clock on their head.
Certainly, yes, the clock is ticking for those businesses that do rely on that transitional free movement from the EU and to the UK. Over the next few months, they will be desperately trying to recruit and retain those workers before these transitional arrangements end at the start of next year, January, once Brexit has concluded. So while for overseas, other countries around the world, in many ways, the rules will seem relaxed, this is the government really keen to recruit more highly skilled workers here, and it will come as a shock to those businesses, to other EU countries that are so used to that free movement.
Holly Hudson joining us live here on WION Dispatch, straight from London. Thank you, Holly, for bringing us that live report.